Hello, my name is Max, and today we'll talk about prototypal inheritance. We'll talk about attributes, we'll talk about functions, we'll talk about classes, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about Windows objects and global objects. So there's a lot of stuff to cover, right? So let's start. First of all, we'll talk about attributes and properties. So this thing is property, this thing is attribute. Wow, so simple, right? So the value of the property is attribute, but there's like other attributes besides the value, like enumerable, configurable, readable. These attributes define how the property can be accessed, like is it readable? Is it writable? So yeah, in this example, we're just using value attribute just because it's simpler. And yeah, it's right up here. So this property is equal to John, and this thing is equal to 50, and that's our result right up here. Pretty simple, right? Now we'll talk about functions. A JavaScript function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task, and a JavaScript function is executed when someone calls it or something. Um, so yeah, we call it right up here, and yeah. So in this case, P1 got multiplied by P2, and then it just returns the result. So 4 multiplied by 3 equal 12. We got 12. Yay, it works. Perfect. And let's talk about this. What is this? So this, the JavaScript this keyword refers to the object it belongs to. So it's in this case it refers to first name like John and this last name Doe. So it's like John Doe. Pretty simple. Yeah, let's keep going. Now we'll talk about classes. Ooh, get spicy. Classes were introduced in EMAScript. A class is a type of function, but instead of using the keyword function, you don't see it up here, right? We use the keyword class, and the property are assigned inside of the constructor. So it's right up here. Here's the constructor, and it's assigned right up here, right? And yeah, it's essentially a synthetic sugar, and it gives us a cleaner syntax compared to complex function constructors. I honestly went online before to kind of like see how they look like before, and it's a lot harder to read. Like this thing honestly looks amazing compared to old one. And the last but not least, let's talk about window object and global object. The window object is supported by all browsers. It represents the browser window. Uh, all global JavaScript objects, functions, and variables automatically become members of the window object. A global object is an object that always exists in the global scope, but usually we see the website through the browsers, so it's kind of weird, but it's like it's inside of the window, so they kind of like equal each other in this case, like global objects going inside of the window object because we're seeing the browser for the we're seeing stuff inside of the browser, right? And in this case, we're checking the size of our browser, and I record the video before and I try to change the size of the browser to kind of show that the number will change, but then it drops the record, so I'm not going to do that. And yeah, that's honestly it. Not a lot for today, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.